Yo, what is up, my fellow weebs? Today I'm just going to be talking about Akame got kill. I have some topics prepared for you guys today, and we're gonna have a special guest on today, the one, the only, Eli.
I hate life. All right, let's redo that. I,
Nope,
I
I'm
need
not.
to
I'm
think of
keeping
a
that
better
in.
one.
Nope. You embarrassed yourself. That's staying in. It's staying there.
No,
Nope. Yep. You embarrassed yourself. That's your fault.
dude, cut.
Nope. That's your fault. You shouldn't have embarrassed yourself. Okay.
All
Now,
right, moving on.
my friend is a little new to anime, so when we talk about things like art style
And
and
very, very heavy.
animation, he's not that knowledgeable to that stuff, but he's very strong, opinionated, so it's all good.
Why do I feel like I'm gonna get roasted for you can't be opinionated, and if you haven't
You
watched
can't.
at least 30 anime, you cannot be opinionated.
Well, I can't be opinionated then.
I guess we're canceled.
Oh, I guess we're
All right, move
canceled.
on
Well,
to the next
all right,
idea.
nice video, guys. Tune in for
Yep,
tune in for
thanks.
the next one. No, but for it's just how it's gonna go. Just gonna talk a little bit. So first, summary of the show. Basically, kid goes to the capital to make some money for his village. Finds out the capital's bad. Joins up with a group of assassins. Trains with them. Fights the capital. In the end, he dies. But the capital is also taken over by the rebel army, which is good. You know how it goes.
What kind of
Um,
summary is this?
am I wrong? Oh, fine. I'll.
I mean, you're not wrong, but you definitely skipped quite a few character deaths,
Oh,
you know?
my bad, my bad.
And the
No,
part about
those
Nice
aren't
Queen
important.
trying to kill everything.
Also, they have these things called Imperial Arms. They were made from these things called Danger Beasts, and they're super powerful and cool. And
And the Ice one is the most powerful. Don't forget that.
that no, it's not. It's not the most
It
powerful.
is.
It's based on the user. But let's get on. Let's leave that for later. Okay. Okay,
Later
Mr.
arguments for later.
Eli.
Look,
Um, um, based on just the animation and art style pretty average. Average art style. It's not as different as Akame ga Kill or God Eater, but it's definitely okay. It's good enough. The
I like
animation
FMAB.
the animation was good for the most part. Some parts little bad, but for the most part it was pretty good. So, Eli, let's get you to talk a little bit. What are your thoughts on the ending of the show?
I don't know. It leaves a lot of loose ends that you can kind of interpret of what happens. I feel like if they were to change the ending a little bit, it would be definitely to tie up some of those loose ends because they kind of just leave you wondering what happens to the capital. At that
Yeah,
point, Night Raid takes over, and then what happens?
yeah.
And I also don't like the fact that Night Raid just completely disappears out of everything because I guarantee you at least one person will hold on to the idea that Night Raid existed.
Night Raid. At the fall of the Empire, they were remembered as a violent gang of criminals who terrorized the capital. However, as the new society grew, not a single mention of their existence could be found.
Yeah.
But
I
we
think
don't
the
talk about
ending,
those things.
I think I think it was an okay ending. It's definitely not a very satisfying ending. They could have added in a lot more. I just feel like for the type of show that it is, it's very insensitive, and so I feel like that kind of fits the ending. Definitely fits in with the type of show that it is. For the fact that they don't like there are some emotional scenes, but for the most part, it's very shonen. A lot of fighting, a lot of killing, a lot of blood. So yeah, I feel like the ending definitely matched up with the show. Now that doesn't mean I think the ending was best, it was pretty average, but it definitely could have been better. Okay, now, any thoughts on character deaths? Because if we don't bring that up, then it's gonna leave out basically the entire series.
A lot of death, even so if we were including side characters and like fillers, like
Mm,
filler characters, a lot of death.
yeah, I have to.
I will say though, a lot of the main characters like died early and often,
Yeah,
and a lot of people make fun of that, but honestly, that's just the nature of the show. That's the show trying to prove a point. Like
I
any
agree.
character, no character is safe till the end just because they're a main character.
Yeah, I feel like it's a great point you made. I feel like a lot of people hate on the show because there is a lot of death. And I saw one comment when I was going through some forums and stuff that was like, and they said, this show was made by a 14-year-old who heard of Berserk and how bloody it was and then tried to recreate it. And I mean, you could say that about any violent show, I have to say, but I feel like they weren't trying to go for that. They were trying to go for just because you're super powerful or just because you're part of the main group doesn't mean that you can't die. Like anyone can die just because they're your favorite character or just because they're going to be important to the plot doesn't mean that they can't die.
Exactly. That's how they differ from other shows. Other shows, cough cough Shonen, cough cough Naruto, your character can die, but then they get
Excuse me.
revived the next day,
Excuse me. Don't
or
you bring
they
Naruto
just
into this? You back
they
off.
don't die and just
Back
stay
off.
dead.
What is no Naruto can't Naruto, it's very hard to die because he has a demon inside of him, okay? Don't you try to turn this
Dude.
into Naruto now, okay? Don't back off,
As we
okay,
see,
mate?
we struck a nerve when we talk about Naruto. He has a demon. Yeah, but so does the other girl that
What
died.
girl?
The the little girl,
The li-
the sister of
what?
Akame.
Oh,
Akame's sister had a.
that yeah, that one. Uh
Oh, aggressively typing, I see.
yeah, Kurame. Yeah, that one. Yep.
Yeah, we
Knew
knew
that.
that. We were just
Knew that.
angering
Yep.
folks. Yeah,
Knew that.
we
Okay.
both knew that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like though with the amount of deaths they had, I feel like it took a lot away from some of the character development that they could have had in the sense that when you have a lot of deaths, after that death, you don't like of course you're going to have some of the characters looking back on it and using it for revenge. Uh and that happens in a lot of shows, but when you kill off a character, excuse me, when you kill off a character too quickly, you don't get enough development. And it's like, well, were they there just to die? And I don't feel like killing people off for emotion is the right thing to do. I feel like a lot of people confuse what Akame got killed did. What they did was they tried to make it so that it's showing that no one is invincible. Everyone will die. Everyone can die. Kind of like as Death's philosophy. You died because you're weak, and everyone at points is weak, and everyone can die. But I feel like some people took that as they're trying to make you feel emotions instead of using a good plot or a good character. They're adding in deaths to make up for the lack of emotion. And if that was the case, then I would not like this show because it's not a good look for the show. But when you have a Kame ga Kill, which adds in deaths for that reason, for the invincible reason, then it really opens up your mind to what they're actually trying to say. And if you miss that fact, then I can completely understand how you hate the show, because that's basically what the show is about. No one is invincible, everyone will die. And so if you don't get that point, then you're not going to get the show and you're not going to like the show. Water. Tasty.
Well, true facts. And I enjoyed the show because it was actually the first anime I've ever watched.
I got him
And
into
it
it.
was,
That was me. I
yeah,
did that.
look,
I brought
Mr.
a new weeb
Bragalut.
over. I turned a
It's
new person from innocence to
to
murderous.
God, kill.
Just wait. Just you wait.
It's good. It was good if you got the message, which I actually got the message, which makes all the weebs out there who didn't get the message very angry.
They're just
But
like
get the
they're just like
message,
you
nerd.
made this up. You didn't get the message. Someone told you. You stop lying.
I wouldn't be
Oh,
on this video if I didn't get the message, honestly. He threatened to terminate my contract if I didn't get the message.
your contract. You make it
Yep,
sound like I'm paying you.
exactly. My point
Yeah, you
exactly.
just work for free. Like, come on.
Yeah, you still threatened to terminate my contract. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
Favorite
So,
Imperial Arms, go.
yeah. No, there were definitely a couple. I didn't like Tatsumi's arms. I can't remember what it's called, but
Oh my god, two characters
mm,
had that, and you still
yeah,
don't remember.
yeah, I
Yeah,
can't remember.
honestly, hold on, intense clicking. You remember, trust me. I'm just testing him. Ignore the intense clicking.
Mm.
That's nothing.
And
That's him.
Curcio.
That's him drinking ice.
Yes, yep, I knew that in Curcio. Yep.
And
I knew
Curzio
that. Psst. Just
is
testing all you
it isn't the
viewers.
best, but it isn't the worst.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't like that Tatsumi took it from Bulat. I felt like Tatsumi should
Bro,
have had his own moment, and I feel like they kind of made Tatsumi's moment part of Bulat's moment, and I don't. I felt like I was when I first heard that they all had to find their own Imperial Arm. I'm like, yes, he's gonna go on like a quest. He's gonna get
find
real with
something good.
himself. He's gonna hide in a cave, and that's gonna unlock his what he truly wants in life. And he's gonna find it, and it's gonna be awesome. And then it's like, oh hey, this guy died. How about you use this thing? So
I mean,
definitely
I mean,
didn't.
Bula did kind of force him into it.
Yeah, like the only part of Incursio that I liked was the trump card of invisibility. I thought that was pretty cool.
Of course, you would like that.
Why? Why would I like that?
You would.
Why? Why would I? Please enlighten me,
See, that's you're not supposed to ask that
Mister
question, but
189
you would.
IQ. Please enlighten me.
Look, bro. Look, bro.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Well, what's your favorite? What is your
My
favorite?
favorite.
You're dodging the
Um,
question, my G.
I definitely. I definitely like Leone's Imperial Arms. The fact that it enhances human abilities to beast-like abilities and to supernatural. I thought that was pretty cool. And then I also really liked Lubbock's million use strings, because I felt like he didn't get enough attention as he should have. But if we're being honest, I felt like he played a very behind the scenes role with making sure no one interfered with fights, setting up the traps. And then when he killed the part of the what are they called? Like Phantom 4? I don't remember what they're called. The humans who didn't have Imperial arms, who specialized in taking down the Imperial arms users. when
Oh,
he
them.
when he
The
killed
hunters.
yeah, when he killed two of them in one fight. It just shows like when you have a smart brain and you use it and you think about how you can use his Imperial Arms, there are just endless possibilities in ways you can use it, and it's just I think that's just really cool. So, what do you think?
Well, I like Lubbock's. It definitely is my favorite, but I did like Lubbock's. The Million Year String is really cool as an Imperial Arm. Um, Especially at the end where he pulled before his death, where he pulled someone through the portal to
Yeah,
kill them too. That
yeah,
was
the minister's
that was
son.
good.
Yeah, but what's your
But
favorite?
if I had to pick one, I would probably say Pumpkin, the
Mm,
gun,
pumpkin. Yes.
because for one, that one requires extreme skill and is fueled off of
You
emotions,
mean because
which
it's a
honestly,
sniper? It takes skill.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
yes, just gonna
did you
blast in the
did
general
you not
direction of the enemy,
did
bro.
you did
No
you not
skill.
see her pull a controller, swap out her head, and then switch it for automatic and just just like blast them?
Yeah, but it still
Yes.
requires some sort of skill to use. I'm talking about the sniper. The gun, the actual the auto version means nothing, but the sniper emotionally charged shots that
Yeah. Really cool.
that are that powerful is really good because it actually gives characters emotion. Like
Yeah, and
she
like
actually had emotion because that's what her weapon depended on.
yeah, because like if
So
someone
I figured that was a really nice one.
because
And if I had
it
to pick a second best one, I like the one shot kill because yeah,
one shot kill.
it
Oh,
because it actually requires
Akame's.
someone to be smart if they
Yeah,
don't want to get immediately destroyed.
yeah. I also think that Pumpkin was also a really cool weapon, and that it fits mine perfectly because mine's very outgoing and she says what she feels. And if you had someone like Esdeath who tried to use
Oh Lord.
Pumpkin, then or like Pre in love with Tatsumi Esdeath, if you had her try to use Pumpkin, then she wouldn't have been able to do anything because she doesn't have any emotions. So it really does play off of the strengths of the character.
And before we fully wrap it up and get to the end section, I would also like to go back to character deaths.
Okay.
There are there are a lot of character deaths, and I want to count up the protagonists that died. So basically, all the Night Raid members, and I'm including the Imperial Arms one, the
Okay,
dude who was in Imperial
so the
Arms. I'm
first one to
counting
die
him.
was Shell. She got eaten.
Yeah,
Second
thanks.
was Bulat. He died against Asdeath's three powerful
Yep,
users.
got poisoned by blood. I still
Then,
hate saying that.
yeah, you don't like that. You're like, he fights off all of them just to die from someone else's blood.
That's whatever.
Okay.
That's personal opinion.
Then we had, I'm pretty sure next we had uh, Chelsea die.
Really, we went that
Yeah,
long
I'm
without a
I'm
death?
pretty sure Chelsea got killed by Kurame.
Yeah,
Then
I know. We went
then
that long.
or did
Wow.
or did yeah or did Sue die first?
Wait, which one was Sue?
The Imperial Arms that Najenda was using. I can't remember. It was definitely Shell, Bulat, and then I don't think it was yeah, I don't think it was Sue who died. I think he survived that fight, and then um, Chelsea went after Kurame, and then Kurame killed Chelsea, and then Sue died, and then it was mine who died in the fight after that.
Oh yeah,
Then
mine.
Lubbock's got impaled after killing the minister's son.
Dude, I honestly thought he was about to live that fall. Not
I
even about
no,
to.
I knew just based
Oh,
on
he
the
was gonna
music
live
and
that.
everything, he was not surviving. Um, then it
And it was
was
Tatsumi.
Uh,
I think it was
yeah, I
Tatsumi.
think Tatsumi was, no, yeah, then it was Tatsumi who
And
died,
then it
and then it
was
was
the what,
Leone.
two deaths at the end, or was it
It
just
was just
Leone?
Leone.
Alright, then it
Which a
was
lot of
Leone.
I also looked on another forum, and they said that they thought Leone's death was horrible. They thought like, you know, Tatsumi, at least he died doing what he loved, like, or wanted to do, like saving the people who were in trouble. Like, he saved them, and that's a great feat, and he put his life on the line for it. But that they didn't like how Leone died in an alley by herself. But I feel like it shouldn't be that way. Leone went back to where she grew up to look at the people who she was fighting for. She was fighting for all of her friends and people she grew up with. She was fighting so that they could be free, so that she could be free. And I feel like her dying in the alley was, now, I didn't want her to die in an alley, obviously, but I felt like that was a very meaningful thing to do, to choose to go back to make sure that she had actually saved all of her childhood friends and all the people she grew up with in her part of the capital, and that by going back there and seeing that everyone was safe and that everyone could live as they wanted to, I felt like that enabled her to finally be able to rest in peace and die a happy death.
True,
Choked on water.
true. A
Uh,
lot. And when we got to the end of it, only two antagonists, I mean, two protagonists were left, right?
well, I wouldn't really call them protagonists. I think Tatsumi was our one and only protagonist. But I do feel like some of the
Okay,
other,
our good guys. We only had two
yeah,
good
only
guys.
two
I
members
mean,
of
I
Night
guess you
Raid
could count Wave.
survived.
You could count Wave because he like turned
Well,
over at the end.
if we're talking about Night Raid, then only two members of Night Raid survived.
Yeah, but if you're talking about good guys, Wave did flip at the end. I kind of called that though. I kind of knew it.
Yeah, I didn't
Like
think.
he just wanted to
Yeah.
fight for what was right, and he got tricked into thinking that the Imperial was right
Well,
until he saw them literally destroy an entire town.
yeah. Based on his character, I did not think he was gonna stay with Seth. Um. Okay, and then do you want to go over?
I especially hated his Imperial Arm. I
Yeah,
hated that one.
I
It
it
was
was the same over.
literally a copy of one that we had already seen that had already been through two other
Yeah,
hands.
I feel like that was actually a part where I didn't like the show right then because I felt like they could have taken the creativity to maybe come up with like maybe something sea related, because you see how he was a
Yeah,
fisherman,
I kind of wish that he was the one who could control water.
and I felt like they should have made something more toned to him. Though I can kind of understand him having armor, because like he's the armor of the citizens trying to protect them. But I do feel like it was a little. They could. I feel like they could have come up with something better. Which
So what were we
actually,
gonna wrap up with?
that brings us to our last topic. How do you think they could have made it better? So, as we stated,
Oof, this is gonna be a toughie.
as
Is it
we
just one thing or
stated,
multiple things?
well, multiple things. As we stated before, we felt like the character deaths were completely justified and okay. And one thing that, like we
Uh,
just said, was that Wave could have had a different Imperial Arms. Another
yeah,
thing,
that's a small one, but overall, we feel like we were actually discussing this before we started
yeah,
recording. We
we
felt like
talked a little bit
if they, and I feel like we could have done
more.
well, added like not
Yeah.
another season, but
Oh
had
no,
like
I
made
got this
more
one. I got
episodes.
this one. My plan was that if they extended it to two seasons, this is what would happen. You'd either have a 12 episode second season or 24 episode second season. Now, if you wanted to keep with the short series, then go with the 12 episode. But if you wanted to add in more emotions and more backstory, then definitely go with the 24 episode second season. However, I think that I would have preferred a second season that was 24 episodes, because I feel like what they could have really increased. They could have like expanded the amount of people who had to die within a certain time, so that the deaths were more spread out. And on top of that, we could get more character development because I felt like every time a character was about to die, we'd kind of get their backstory shoved in our face. And if we could have really gotten a nice big one episode, like full episode review on their backstory, then when they died, it definitely would have made the emotion much greater, not just them, oh, they died and you saw a 30-second clip of their background cry. So I definitely feel like they should have extended it to
Cry.
48 episodes overall for the entire show and made maybe 8 or 10 of them fillers just so that we have a little more
Filler
content.
missions.
Yeah, like side quests.
We want to expand character development. I
Yeah.
feel like we had less character development than optimal, but that
Yeah.
was also because of a good point where they had a lot of action, but it wasn't
Yes,
like a
definitely.
shonen.
Yeah,
The
it
only
wasn't.
times that felt like a shonen
Yeah.
was like those few episodes where they were like
Mm.
fighting in the canyon. But obviously, that's
Yeah.
like the big fight. That was like
Yeah.
pretty much the actual final fight. The rest of the fights were like one-on-ones.
I
That was the
also
final team fight.
I felt like I felt like they did a good job separating themselves from from like a super long and drawn out shonen, which I'll get into this in another video. But I feel like I like more realistic fights. The first person to make a mistake dies. The first person to execute their plan properly wins. The battles are fought within seconds. They don't It's not whoever has the strongest friendship is going to win, or because I know the power of friendship and you don't, so you can't win, which I know I'm making fun of Naruto a little bit there, but I'm fine with that for now. I feel like they were
No, emotion
realistic
driven
and
fights are a thing.
yeah, I feel like they were realistic, they were fair, and they weren't drawn out. Like I was actually interested to see what happened. Unlike the first 100 episodes of Naruto Shippuden, where it's basically filler content and a battle lasts for like 20 episodes. By which time I'm like, kill them both. I'm done with this.
Both, I'm done with this. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, I feel like they did a good job of making. And if they did turn the tides, it was because they had a secret ace up their sleeve. Which realistically, if you bring an ace up your sleeve
Yeah,
in a real fight, then you're most likely gonna turn the tables if needed.
exactly. And the
Just
fact
like at the end in the final episode when the Ice Queen, or whatever her name, Asdeath, when
as stuff.
Asdeath was fighting Akame, Akame turned the tables by revealing a secret trump card that pretty much no one knew she had.
Yeah, even her team, I think.
It was even hard for the fans to
Yeah,
kind of suspected it to predict that. Like, she
yeah.
pulls out a random trump card and turns the tables that she's been
because
hiding.
because you when she was talking to Tatsumi in an episode, she was like every Imperial Arms has its weakness. For example, mine, if I cut my finger while cleaning it, I'm dead. And so that kind of was
It
a
actually got disproven in the show
yeah, it
when
was kind of
Asdeath
a
got her arm cut and then cut off her arm and
yeah,
she lived.
but
That got disproven.
it was a little bit of a red herring to be like, oh yeah, I totally, if I had cut myself, same thing that happens to everyone else happens to me. But really, it was her trump card. So even Tatsumi and I would wager, except for maybe Najinda and Leone, I'd say probably the rest of the team didn't even know about it.
Leone, by the way, if we're talking about her trump card, I'm glad that they didn't force everyone to have a trump card that was either damaging or utility.
Yeah, or like
I'm
super
glad there was
powerful.
a
Yeah.
trump card that actually did something like healing wise. It didn't
Yeah.
shove the fact that we could turn an entire fight in our favor using one move down your throat.
I agree. Um, so yeah, definitely if they could have extended it, maybe changed up a little bit with how the Imperial Arms worked. But for the most part, I feel like It was a great show. I wouldn't recommend it to shonen fans because they're not like when there's death, they're not gonna be like, oh, no one's gonna die. It's a shonen, they can't die. And then 3 seconds later, oh my gosh, how did half of the squad die in 2 seconds? Um, but it is.
Ratings,
But if you're just into fight scenes in general, then I would definitely recommend this.
ratings. What would you rate
Ratings.
it?
I let me pull up my anime list of what I gave it.
Oh yeah, he has an anime list, by
I
the
do.
way. I don't know if he's posted it
I'll
yet,
put it in
but
the
he has an anime
description.
list.
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, that would be my rating. 9 out of 10 just for character development.
Well, 9 out of 10. I may move it down to maybe 8 or 7 out of 10. But after I finish a show, I always give it an exaggerated rating just for the fact that nostalgia, like when I finish a show that night when I go to bed, that show's all I can think about.
I believe that I should give it a legitimate 9 out of 10. It was a great show.
I'd probably give
Definitely a
it
good first if you want to get an anime, but you don't want to watch a Naruto shonen that has 50 million. No, that's like
so
a
long.
billion episodes on a fight scene, and you don't feel like committing half your life to an anime.
Yeah.
Definitely, that would be a good first one to start on.
Yeah.
And also
Though it
other
will
short
be.
ones like Cough Cough
Yeah.
Parasite,
Yeah.
maybe in the future do something
I
like
I
that. Cough
also
Cough.
I also introduced him to Parasite. That was me also. But we'll
Cough
talk.
Cough, we may do a review of that.
Well,
Cough
yeah,
Cough.
we'll talk about that later. But I feel like yeah, overall good show. A lot of deaths, but I feel like they were justified. And yeah, that was our review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please like and subscribe. Turn on noties. We'll be coming out with more content soon. And
Message if you want
yeah,
me to come back or if you want me to just go
yeah.
rip
If you
self
want him to
Sudoku
type in
stuff.
the comments, if you want. If you don't, well then that's gonna suck for him. But yeah,
It'll suck because I'm gonna be back for sure. But
yeah. But yeah, peace out, guys. Have a great rest of your day.